This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski.
Featuring former FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
Well, we found out what exactly was in that phone questionnaire from Ann Taylor, the defense of Bryan Kohberger, the phone call that went out to 400 potential jurors in the Moscow, Idaho area. Keep in mind, the population in that area, not that big, a little over like 20-some thousand people. So you put a call out to 400 people, those 400 people are going to be impacted, and those 400 people probably have friends, acquaintances, family members. And slowly you start to infect a jury pool or taint a jury pool when your goal is to point out that the jury pool has already been tainted. But can you claim that when you're the one pouring the taint into the water of that pool? That's kind of the question. Joining me to discuss, Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent. The judge the other week saying I'm shocked by this, and it totally caught him off guard. But now we see the questions, and some of these in very great detail. Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania? Have you read, seen, or heard if police found a knife sheath on a bed next to one of the victims? And it goes on and on and on, talking about DNA, talking about his car, talking about the cell phone tower data, talking about basically all the points of the story in this questionnaire. What was your reaction to seeing this call and these questions now that were sent out to these potential jurors?
Befuddling a bit, as I'm not quite sure what her goal was for all the reasons you just said. If she's trying to prove that the jury pool is tainted, it looks like she just tainted it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, as an interviewer, because that's primarily what my job really was. I'm a recruiter of human beings and an interviewer, and these are almost leading questions that she's asking. Which it's really puzzling. The only thing I could keep thinking in this, because I got my own confirmation bias with her, I think, is she's doing everything she can to delay, to cause issues, to lead everything I think she possibly can to save his life, get death off the table, and prep for a retrial, if possible, or appeals, something. So I really think she's just, like we've been seeing with her, she's thrown everything she possibly can at this. I'm not quite sure what the intent of this part was, though. It's odd.
It is odd. I mean, and at what length? I mean, anybody can do anything technically, but at the end of the day, there are consequences for your actions. And her being an attorney, and a very high power one that is being used by the state right now. One of the very few capital crime attorneys that are qualified for this. I'm wondering how the judge is going to react now that he actually sees these questions. If her goal is to get this thing moved, is this something where the judge is going to go, look, you already tainted it, now we have to move it? Or is this like, yeah, you tainted it, now you get to lie in your own bed?
If I was a betting man on this one, I'm going to say lie in your own bed, because this case has so much international, not just national, international attention. I have a hard time not knowing who wouldn't be able to answer those questions. It's not just in the town there. So that's why I don't quite understand what the purpose of those questions really were. I don't see the judge moving the venue. I don't see him saying that the jury pool is tainted like you claimed it is based on the survey results. That's why I'm really just not quite sure what her play at this was.
Yeah, I mean, and let's cover some of the questions here. Because if you didn't know about the case, or let's just say you knew bits and pieces of it, this would certainly make you want to learn more, especially if this happened in your backyard. Some of them that I haven't read yet. Have you read, seen, or heard that DNA found in the knife sheath was later matched to Bryan Kohberger? That almost it was, but it almost kind of like implies, is it a question? Is it a statement? Maybe you should look that up a little bit and, taint your mind a little it. Have you read, seen, or heard Mr. Kohberger owned the same type of car reported seen driving in the neighborhood where the killings occurred? Have you read, seen, or heard of the cell phone tower data showed that Brian Kohberger made several trips near the victim's home in the month before the killing? The thing is, all these things that she's asking are true. It's evidence. So what is it? What is the point? I mean, if you were to dive into this, and I know you don't know the answer, I don't know the answer, but if you were to kind of dive into this and try to figure out what is the goal other than tainting a jury pool, where is she going?
So all we can do is really kind of look at the psychological effect it has.
Yeah.
And what she did by doing this is she used one of those, not just a lever of influence, but a lever of elicitation. By asking these questions in this way, she's using curiosity as a lever of elicitation. In other words, eliciting an action. Because when someone's curious and you inspire them / persuade and influence them be curious, which each of these questions do to someone that might not know about it, and even someone who does know about it, they're going to be desiring to dig even deeper. So every single person that she now interviewed or, sent this questionnaire to, or however it was done on the phone or in survey form, they're now going to be more curious than they were before because of those questions. So they're going to all dig deeper. And each of these people, supposedly you're going to have anywhere from 1 to 10 more people affected by that because now they're going to be talking about it. So literally, she has elicited a response from an entire community surrounding those 400 people to take an action to dive even deeper. And so if her intention was to destroy the jury pool in that area, she just did it by that action.
Yeah, like bravo. Have you read, seen, or heard of Brian Kohberger said that he was out driving alone on the night of the murders? Well, he did. Have you read, seen, or heard that Brian Kohberger stopped one of the victims? Stopped one of the victims. I don't know that we've heard about, was there an allegation about that? I don't remember that one. Have you read, seen, or heard that Brian Kohberger had followed one of the victims on social media? All these things, some have been rumors, some have been factually proven.
Right.
But it's kind of a mix of everything in this bag of question tricks. I don't know. I'm really just kind of baffled by the details of this.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.